Clean Wallet Place by Ernest Hemingway. It was late, and everyone had left the cafe except an old man, who sat in the shadow of the leaves of the tree made against the electric lights. In the daytime, the street was dusty, but at night the dew settled in the dusts, and the old man liked to sit late because he was deaf now. And the night knew it was quiet, and he felt the difference. The two waiters inside the cafe knew the old man was a little drunk. While he was a good client, they knew that if he became too drunk, he would leave without paying, so they kept a watch on him. Last week, he tried to commit suicide, one waiter said. Why? He was in despair. About what? Nothing. How do you know it's about nothing? He still has plenty of money. They sat together at a table that was close against the wall near the door of the cafe, and looked at the terrace where the tables were all empty except where the old man sat in the window, in the shadow of the leaves of the tree that moved slightly in the wind. The girl and the soldier went by the street. The street light shone on the brass number on his collar. The girl wore no head covering and hurried beside him. The guard will pick him up, one waiter said. What does it matter if he gets what he's after? He better get off the street now. The guard will get him. They went by 5 minutes ago. The younger man sitting in the shadow, wrapped his saucer with his glass. The young waiter went over to him. What do you want? The old man looked at him. Another brandy, he said. You'll be drunk, the waiter said. The old man looked at him. The waiter went away. He'll stay all night, he said to his colleague. I'm sleepy now. Never get into bed before 3 o'clock. Should have killed himself last week. The waiter took the brandy bottle and another saucer to the counter. Inside the cafe, he marched out to the old man's table. He put down the saucer and poured a glassful of brandy. You should have killed yourself last week, he said to the deaf man. The deaf man motioned with his finger. A little more, he said. The waiter poured into the glass so that the brandy slopped over and ran down the stem into the top saucer of the pile. Thank you, the old man said. The waiter took the bottle back inside the cafe, sat down at the table with his colleague again. He's drunk now, he said. He's drunk every night. What do you want to kill himself for? How should I know? How did he do it? He hung himself with a rope. Who cut him down? His niece. Why did he do it? Fear for his soul. How much money he got? He's got plenty. He must be 80 years old. Anyway, I should say he was 80. I wish he would go home. I never get to bed before 3 o'clock. What kind of hour is that to go to bed? He stays up because he likes it. He's lonely. I'm not lonely. I have a wife in bed waiting for me. He had a wife once, too. A wife would be no good to him now. You can't tell. He might be better with a wife. His niece looks after him now. I know. You said she cut him down. I wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't want to be that old. An old man is a nasty thing. Not always. This old man is clean. He drinks without spilling, even now, drunk. Look at him. I don't want to look at him. I wish he would go home. He's no regard for those who work. The old man looked at his glass across the square, then over at the waiters. Another brandy, he said, pointing through the glass. The waiter, who was in a hurry, came over. Finished, he said, speaking with the omniscience of syntax stupid people employ when talking to drunk people or foreigners. No more tonight. Closed now. Another, the old man said. No. Finished, the waiter replied, wiping the edge of the table with the towel and shook his head. The old man stood up, slowly, counted the saucers, took a leather coin purse out of his pocket and paid for the drinks, leaving a pesta tip. The waiter watched him go down the street, a very old man walking unsteadily, but with dignity. Why didn't you let him stay and drink? The unhurried waiter said. They were putting up shutters. It's not 2:30. I want to go to bed. What is an hour? More to me than to him. An hour is the same. You talk like an old man yourself. You can buy a bottle and drink at home. It's not the same. No, it's not, agreed the waiter with the wife. He did not wish to be unjust. He was only in a hurry. And you? Have no fear of him going home before his usual hour? Are you trying to insult me? Insult me? No, hombre, just to make a joke. No, the waiter who was in a hurry said, rising from the pulling down metal shutters. I have confidence. I am all confidence. You have youth, confidence, and a job, the older waiter said. You have everything. What do you lack? I have everything but work. You have everything I have. No. I never had confidence. I am not young. Come on, stop talking and lock up. I'm one of those who likes to stay up late at the cafe, the older waiter said. with all those who don't want to go to bed, with all those who need a light for the night. I want to go to home and to bed. We are two different kinds, the older waiter said. He was not dressed to go home. It is not only a question of youth and confidence. Those are very beautiful things. Each night I am reluctant to close up because there may be someone who needs a cafe. Hombre, there are bodegas that open all night long. You don't understand. This is a clean and pleasant cafe. It is well lighted. The light is very good. And also, there are shadows of the leaves. Good night, said the young waiter. Good night, said the other, turning off the electric light. He continued the conversation with himself. It is the light, of course, that is necessary. It is light, of course, but it's necessary that the place must be clean and pleasant. You do not want music. You certainly do not want music. Nor can you stand before a bar with dignity, although it is provided those hours. What did he fear? It was not fear or dread. It was nothing that he knew too well. It was nothing, and a man was snoring too. It was only that light, cleanness, and order. Some people lived in it and never felt it, but he knew all the nadas and puetas and nadas and putas and nadas and puites. Our nada, who art nada, nada be thy name. Don nada, thy will be nada, and nada as it is in nada. Give us our nada, and nada our nada our nada. As we nada our nadas, and nada us into nada, but deliver us from nada. Puedes nada. Hail nothing, full of nothing, nothing is with thee. He smiled, stood before the bar, with shining steam pressure coffee machine. What's yours? Asked the barman. Nada. Otro locos más, said the barman before turning away. A little cup, said the waiter. The barman poured it for him. The light is very bright and pleasant, but the bar is unpolished, said the waiter. The barman looked at him but did not answer. It was too late in the night for conversation. You want another copita? Said the barman. No, thank you, said the waiter and went out. He disliked bars and bodegas. A clean, well-lit cafe was a very different thing. Now, without thinking, he would go home to his room. He would lie in his bed, and finally with the daylight, he would go to sleep. After all, he said to himself, it is probably only insomnia. Many must have it.